This is a little demonstration of how to work with the Profit 08 synthesizer in Logic. If you have a Logic project open, go to the window, hit Open Midi Environment. Now, so we're going to start off with a blank palette, and we're going to make a new physical input, and we're going to put a monitor on that. Okay, so that's sending out signals. So I go to my global parameters here, and I have the Midi. I have the channel out to 8, which shut the poly chain off. Clock doesn't matter right here. Local control is on. Send NRPN, receive NRPN. So that's going to send and receive your data in 4 bits. So as you can see, if I move this JLS1, you can see it gives you a bunch of signals. Now what's it giving you are 4 separate messages. So to control this, we have to send 4 separate messages. So here's some controls I've set up. So I have the low pass frequency. There we go. And that's sending those 4 messages. I also have a step sequence. This is one of the step sequences. First step, the value of the first step. This is the value of the 9th step. Here's the first letter and the name of the program. So I'm going to change this to lowercase f and capital F. So if I go over to program, see that lowercase f and the capital F there. We can also change the program. So that's program 70. See, if we go back, that letter change I made is gone now because I didn't save the number 70. And then I want to change to bank 2, bank 1, bank 2. Change my contrast on my screen. Or some of the global parameters. I have a button to change that to 2. Or if I want to transpose, I'm going to create a new fader, and I have 1 knob. Now I'm going to change this to SYSEX, system execution, or system exclusive, excuse me. So we can hit this button right there, and when that's red, all we do is hit a button. Now it got that control signal, so I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going to paste it again, paste it one more time. So we have 4 values. And then this is going to be 6. this is another multiplier column, and this is going to be 38. So you have your first the 99. This is going to be a multiplier. So 0 is just going to be values 127, 0 to 127. If you put a 1 here, it adds 128 to this value right here. So this 6 is the multiplier for the 38. Again, values 0 to 127 are on a multiplier of 0. If we want to get the value of 128, you would turn this to 1 and this to 0. That would be 128. This is the multiplier. So these values remain unchanged, and whatever you have highlighted after you close this, the fader value will change it. So now I have the fader value 16. If I open the sys.x, this is 16, right? Everything else didn't change. Close it again, change this fader value to 27, open this up, we see it's now 27. So whatever is highlighted will change. So if you want, read the manual, we have program parameter changes. So let's change the oscillator glide, which has values 0 to 127, and we see that it is parameter number 3. So parameter number 3 doesn't need a multiplier. It's under 127. So that's parameter number 3. Multiplier is 0. Values are 0 to 127. So we don't need a multiplier here. And we highlight this, which is going to be our fader value. So if we new MIDI instrument, and we have, this is going to be the iRig, we're going to go on channel 8. That's what my instrument is doing, right? So we see the oscillator glide. That's easy. So if we take this, copy this, paste it, and we go back into that sys.x file, it's its own sys.x file. Now we want to change it to a different parameter. Let's say we want to change the same thing, which is the glide rate. So we want to do layer B. So layer B is 203. That has a multiplier on it. So 203 minus 128 equals 75. So change this to 75 and the multiplier to 1. Highlight this. Now, if I go over to layer B, oh, there we have it. Sorry about that. I was using the wrong fader knob. This fader knob is for patch A. This is for patch B. Sorry about everybody. So we can see this is layer 1. Go over to layer 2. You don't have to visually see it as long as you make these changes. These changes will affect the synth. So if we want to make another change, let's say something over the value of 127. So we have the sequence tracks. So let's grab this fader, copy it, paste it. And we're going to say, okay, sequence tracks 120. So now I'm changing that sequence 1, and so it says it goes to sequence, goes up for each sequence. So 122 should be sequence 3, and then 127, which is the highest value. So there we go. So step 8, and now step 9, as we see in the manual, would be value 128. So to get 128, you use this multiplier, change that to 1, change that to 0. Make sure this is highlighted, and that should change step 9, and it is. And step 10 would be 1, 2, would be step 11. Easy. Let's take something that is a global parameter. Now, click global just so we can see it. So we have a global parameter. Now, global parameters are on, so it says 384. So 384 is 128 times 3, right? That means your multiplier is 3. This is 0. This is 0. And now this will change your there we go. So there's your transpose. Now if I wanted to change like pressure curve, so 399 minus 384, 15. So we have a multiplier of 3. The remainder is 15. Values are 0 through 3. So you can change that over here if you want to. Let's see, changing the velocity curve. So LCD contrast. So this is going here, right? This was number 15, was this pressure curve. So if we advance the screen, this would be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 22 would be the contrast. So if we change this value to 22, now we have that, and the contrast value goes from 0 to 100. Now when we change this, changes our contrast. And that is how you read the manual. So these all have a multiplier of 3. The global parameters. The program parameters have the multiplier of either 0 or 1. And last but not least, let's show you how to change a value that goes above 127, like our low pass frequency. So, filter frequency right here. So we have, it's 15. So that doesn't need a multiplier. So we open this up, and we'll say this is multiplier 0, 15. So we have this. So let's change this to be 100 to 164. Well, it doesn't let me. Maximum value is 127. So it only goes up to 127. What we have to do is split this. So copy it, paste it, don't replace it. This we'll chop it, so this will only send that. So we want to change this to MSB, LSB. So this is just going to change the LSB value right here, this knob, and then this knob we'll cut off that LSB value. So we want to change that 6. So I'm going to make a new knob. Output the fader. I'm going to turn it to 14-bit. Click off of it, click back on it, go over here, say 0 to 164. Okay, so this goes to 164. Right? So now we're going to say new transformer. It's my transformer. I'm going to say take my fader, change it to a control. I want this to go through. And we're going to make a transformer. We're going to click in here. Let's say take the fader value, turn it into control, and this is going to change to 0 to 1. So we'll have that out here. So this should, right, so at 127, it should change to a 1, and it does. So we'll have this fader is, yep, going to be sending out that 38 value. So we want to plug that fader into this fader. So now it combines them all in one message. Have that output to our instrument, and we should now, there we go. Just turn that to 0, so we have, this is our low pass frequency, right? So now it goes all the way up to 127. When we get to 127, it changes the that 6 to a 1, and that's the multiplier. And that's how you connect those two. Just a side note, you have to hit like one of these functions to show, like have the frequency show up like this. If you are in the programs and then I change the frequency's changing, but it didn't show me on screen. That's just kind of one of the things that happens with the Prophet. Another thing that I notice is when I click the control, it will change the pressure curve. So pressure curve is 2. Now I'm just going to click this control, not change anything, change it to 1. So I set this to change it back to 2. So I select that one. I don't know why it does this, but as long as you don't select the controller and just change it, it doesn't do anything. So it's just a weird error I've encountered. And that's that, and I hope everyone finds this useful. This was driving me crazy. I couldn't find any info on this online, so hopefully I'm not the only one out there that needs this.